It was thanks to the successful actions of the Ukrainian special forces managed to successfully defend Bakhmut. The Ukrainian military managed to perform a covert maneuver, during which they managed to successfully attack the positions of the armed forces of the Russian Wagner group on the move to Bakhmut, thereby depriving the Russian troops of the opportunity to both transfer reinforcements and withdraw troops in the direction of Bakhmut. As reported by Ukrinform, military personnel of the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine had a series of defensive battles with the Russian invaders near the town of Bakhmut. As a result, an enemy recon team was eliminated and the assault was repelled. Yesterday, the enemy tried to carry out reconnaissance by fighting in the direction of a border unit stronghold near Bakhmut. Our fighters eliminated an enemy reconnaissance group, killed 2 scouts and wounded 3 more, the Border Guard Service of Ukraine reports. The enemy approached the assault of defensive positions on a larger scale with the onset of darkness, involving infantry from several directions. The Ukrainian artillery units fired at the enemy manpower immediately during the advance, thereby significantly reducing its offensive potential. The border guard stopped the Russian assault in close combat. The positional battle lasted all night, the Ukrainian defenders held the defense line, and the enemy's losses are being specified, the report says. On footage show a Ukrainian drone fighting against a large Russian armored personnel carrier. The footage shows the Ukrainian drone pummeling the Russian war machine with numerous bombs, finally dropping one of them down the vehicle's open hatch. Meanwhile, Russian forces have stepped up fighting in southern Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region, claiming they have captured a village. AFP reports that the Russian army said that its troops have launched an offensive in the Zaporizhzhia region, in southeast Ukraine. Russian forces claim to have taken more advantageous lines and positions during the assault. The region has become the source of intense fighting in recent weeks. Fighting has sharply increased in the southern Ukrainian region of Zaporizhzhia, where the front has been largely stagnant for months, a senior Moscow-installed official in the area said. In the direction of Zaporizhzhia, the intensity of military activity has sharply increased, the official, Vladimir Rogov. Both Rogov and the Russian army said Moscow's forces had seized the village of Lobkov, some 50 kilometers south of the Ukrainian-held regional capital also called Zaporizhzhia. According to Rogov, Russian forces had fired at Ukrainian positions with tanks, mortar, and artillery in a dozen villages in the region. He had also announced a local offensive near the town of Orikhiv a day earlier. The Ukrainian army did not confirm the Russian claims but said that more than 20 settlements in the region had been attacked. Ukraine's energy minister said the situation at the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station was deteriorating because of the psychological state of its Ukrainian staff and the condition of the equipment. The nuclear plant, Europe's largest, has repeatedly come under fire, raising fears of a nuclear disaster. Each side blames the other for the shelling. But the other footage shows how Ukrainian troops took out 3 Russian tanks and destroyed 30 soldiers in the Zaporizhzhia region. The footage shows the 3 Russian tanks being destroyed by Ukrainian ordnance as they attempt to advance on Ukrainian positions. Russian soldiers can then apparently be seen retreating from near the destroyed war machines, with subsequent images showing them being targeted on an open battlefield. The footage was obtained from the General Staff of Ukraine Forces, along with a statement saying, the long-announced offensive of the enemy's 58th Army in the direction of Zaporizhzhia only reduces the number of its personnel and equipment. Poor training and interaction between enemy units are more like suicide than offensive action. One gets the impression that the leadership of the Russian occupiers is preparing its personnel and equipment for the role of targets for our units. As a result of this enemy attack alone, it was confirmed that 3 enemy tanks were destroyed and about 30 occupiers were eliminated and wounded. Let's stay in line and destroy the enemy. Glory to Ukraine, the statement said. Meanwhile, the United States has designated Russia's Wagner mercenary group as a transnational criminal organization, piling pressure on the private army that has recruited tens of thousands of Russian prisoners to fight in Ukraine. White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said that Wagner, controlled by Yevgeny Prigozhin, had about 50,000 fighters in Ukraine, 80% of them drawn from Russia's prison system. Wagner is a criminal organization that is committing widespread atrocities and human rights abuses, Kirby said. We will work relentlessly to identify, disrupt, expose, and target those who are assisting Wagner, he said. Kirby also showed US intelligence photographs of North Korea apparently supplying arms to Wagner for its Ukraine operations, and said the private mercenary force has become a rival to the formal Russian military. Declaring Wagner a transnational criminal organization, under US Executive Order 13,581 freezes any US assets of Wagner, and prohibits US nationals from providing funds, goods, or services to the group. Kirby also said the US had presented its intelligence on Wagner's North Korean arms purchases to the United Nations Security Council's Unit on North Korea Sanctions. The arms transfers from North Korea are in direct violation of UN Security Council resolutions, he said. Wagner owner Prigozhin last month denied taking delivery of arms from North Korea and characterized the report as gossip and speculation. Kirby also said there is evidence that Prigozhin's confidence in his fighters' relative success in Ukraine has generated tensions within the Kremlin. Wagner is becoming a rival power center to the Russian military and other Russian ministries, Kirby said.